Sama Amitabha.
来自 Zoom、Facebook、YouTube 以及网络上的同仁，大家晚上好，早上好。
So greetings to
下午好，
everyone who's
晚上
on
好。
Zoom
我是今天的主
and
持人
YouTube. Good morning, good
来
afternoon,
自
good
马来西
night.
亚的
I'm
Dharma 会
today's
议协会的助
MC.
教，
I
欢迎大家
am the I
我
am
们大概还有在
DA
6分钟
Hui Xian.
就要
So in
开
about
始
6
上课
minutes,
了。
we're going to start our
这里
class.
先提醒一，就是我们已经注册是我们的网络大学的学员们，记得你们有空
So
的时
here's a
候
reminder
就要上
for
网
those who are
到我
registered
们网络大
for
学里
or
面，也要去
for
打卡
the
你们的功课，
TBS
这是我们
online
有分数
university
的一部分。
advancement
希望今天上
activity.
课了，
Please
有任何
remember
问题
to
都上网
report
去打卡，
your
如果有
homework.
不懂的地方呢，可以问我们的
So
辅导
remember
员
to do
如
it
何
before 10 nightly, 10
这个
p.m.
跟我们平时
nightly.
在
So
里
if
面
you
打
do
卡
have any
的形
questions,
式不一样。
do reach out
这
to
里
our
呢会针
counselors.
对我们的就是有注册的同学就是这4门课我们还是要打卡，就好像我们做功课一样，写文章功课，但是我们只要上去打卡就可以了那有什么疑问的话呢，细节呢可以问我们的辅导员，大
So
家
if
都
you have any questions, always reach out to the counselors.
可以请问他们我在留言区看到大家都有说嗨了看
I
到好
saw that everyone's saying hi in the chat box. I've seen many messages.
留言有来自
Thank
瑞士的
you,
同仁
everyone.
杨
We've
少
seen
美
messages
然后
from
我们
Switzerland,
的辅导员
from our
我们
counselors,
助教
from
还
our
有
Dharma
世新的师
assistants,
姐，还有我们的
and from
顺利的
Sydney,
联合上师，大家好。
and also from
还有2
Master
位
Lin
理财讲
Ha.
师
Hello, Master
顾
Lin
克
Ha.
明师姐，然后
I've
还
sent
有
greetings from our senior reverends
师
and
姐的
reverends.
iPad 所以我不知道是谁，但是 iPad 师兄师姐你好，还有莲
So, fellow Dharma brothers and sisters, hello. Even for those who have not identified yourself, hello, Lily Chuzia from Lily from Brazil.
同学们天青师兄来自悉尼的天青师兄，
So we've also Dharma brother
天
Jinxing
好棒
Shishong from
还有
Indonesia.
教授师你好，好棒在一个时间点里面能够跟全世界来自各地不
It's
同的师兄
so great
还有
to be able to
特地跟我
connect
们一
with
起聊天
so many
不错
people
还
and
有
Dharma
来自
propagators
幸好
across
助
the
教
globe
还
online.
有印尼的师兄师姐 Selamat malam 还有莲花迪禅应该是师姐，师姐你好。我们还有同学我们还有3分钟
So we have 3 minutes to starting class. Let's take a look.
应该都有好多我们的授课导师上师也上来了，上师好
So our lecture is already online.
玉祥师兄今天不要忘了，我们还有2位很重要的人物，那就是
Don't
我
forget
们的
we have
翻译员，
to
来自新加坡的一家
we also like to welcome our translators from Singapore, DA Ija and DA Ifong from Indonesia.
还有好多月华助教还有我们的万亮师兄到第4
Hello,
门课
Wan Liang
大家
师兄。
真棒然后还有今天我们播放 PPT 的重要人物邱韵助
So a
教
very important person who's helping us to put the PPT.
看到来自美国的密仪
And we have also have
还有
fellow disciples from the USA.
阿弥陀佛
Amitabha, everyone.
还有我们的彩虹助教阿弥陀佛你好好棒你看我们有瑞士的欧洲的美国
So
的
we have so many people from all over the world joining the class.
马来西亚当然还有台湾的 师兄师姐，还有助教们，好棒！我还看到艾妮师姐。好，那还有很多还没有打开那个。
So there are a number of you who have not turned on their videos. So when it's convenient for you, please turn on your camera so that we can see your face. I would also like to say hello to all the brothers and sisters which are on YouTube and on Facebook.
好，谢谢大家。时间差不多了，现在是有1分钟，马上进入我们的上课时间。老钟师兄你好，阿弥陀佛。哎，一昌助教，阿弥陀佛。好，很棒。好多熟悉的面孔，也有好多不
I've
是很
seen a
熟。
lot of both familiar and unfamiliar faces. I'm sure we'll become familiar with one another in due course. So it's 8 p.m. sharp. We will start our class.
好，首先请大家虔诚合，
Let's put our palm together.
虔诚一心，礼敬当根本传承上师，
And
圣
pay
尊
homage
如
to
来
our root
生，
lineage guru, living Buddha Lian Shen,
礼敬历代传承祖师，
as lineage
虚空
gurus of
中
the
诸
true
佛
Buddha
菩
school
萨，
and
地藏法
all
王，
Buddhas,
天子九天神
Bodhisattvas,
佛，
Mahasattvas,
祈
Dhamma
求放光加
protectors of the
持，
void.
今天
May
的
Grandmaster radiate light
释门课
on every one of
非
us.
常
May the
简单，
class be
上
auspiciously
课
delivered.
光明吉祥圆满，大家学习圆满，请大家手持莲花童子手
Please
印，
form the
莲花
Padmakumara
童子心
mudra
会体
and
会，这是
recite
传
the
承大
root
加
guru
持。
mantra.
Om Guru 莲生悉地吽，Om
Om
Guru
Guru
莲
Lian
生
Shen
悉地
Siddhi
吽
Hum.
，Om
Om
Guru
Guru
莲
Lian
生
Shen
悉地
Siddhi
吽
Hum.
，Om
Om Guru
Guru
Lian
莲
Shen
生悉地
Siddhi
吽
Hum.
，Om
Om
Guru
Guru
莲
Lian
生
Shen
悉地
Siddhi
吽
Hum.
，Om
Om Guru
Guru 莲
Lian
生
Shen
悉地
Siddhi
吽
Hum.
，Om
Om
Guru
Guru
莲
Lian
生
Shen
悉地
Siddhi
吽。
Hum.
阿弥陀佛。我
Amitabha
们首先
everyone.
欢迎授课导师，
Let's first
联谊
welcome
地
our
藏禅
lecturer
师，
for the day,
会长莲花陈子
Master
禅师，
Lianyi,
本子教育科
Chairman
长
Master
讲座
Chen
上师，
Zhu,
共
Education
会副会
Director
长
Master
莲
Lian
花上
Ha,
师，莲飞上师，
PR
今天的英
Director
语翻译
Master
是
Lian
一昌
Jia,
助教，
and
新加坡
Master Lian Fei.
英文的翻
And
译
with us,
是立峰助
our
教，
translator
谢谢。 线上的
uh,
各位上师、
Nora from
教授
DA
师、
Icha from
法师、
Singapore,
讲
and
师、
DA Li
助教
Feng from
以及
Indonesia.
守在 Zoom、Facebook、YouTube 直播线上的学员们，大家
So
早
for
安、
everyone
午
who is
安、
joining us on Zoom,
晚上好。
YouTube
大
or
家今天
Facebook,
打卡
good
了吗？
morning, good afternoon, good
打
evening.
卡的话，
Have you
在我们的
reported
聊
your
天区
homework
写
today?
1， 好，还
If
没
you
有打
have,
卡的话就写2。好，
type 1
那
in the chat box. If you haven't, type 2.
哎呀，好多都已经打卡
Wow,
了，
we have
真是非
seen
常
that
好。
a lot of
好，
them have
我们
already
精进词的
reported
休
their
息打
homework
卡活
today.
动已经过了10天哦，看到
So
大
it's been
家有
10 days
形成
since
了
we
一个
started
很好
this
的修持
advancement
休息的习惯。
activity.
好，
So we've
那
gotten
今
used
天给
to
大家一个小话，
inculcating a good
在我们的课
habit
程后面呢，
for
我们会
cultivation.
有即席的分享环节，请大
So we
家
will have a
现在
sharing
先做好
session
心理准备哦，
after the
能一
lesson.
起开麦分享。上课学习心得，我们上了3课嘛，希望大家能够分享自己上课心得，或者是你在这10天的打卡这段时间
So
打卡
we
的
would
心
like
得
you
分
to
享，
share
我
with
们很
us
想听听你的
your
感
learnings
受
from the
啊、
10
意
days
见啊，
of
或者是让
participating
我
in
们
the
大家一起
advancement
更加精进
activity.
的方式呢？
So as
希望等一下大家能够开麦分享。
we
我
hope
们
that
的环
everyone
节就会
will
给大家。首先就是
participate
大
in
家
this
先跟大家
activity after the
心理
lesson.
准备好，然后呢，你就可以开麦讲了。好，那今天的课程呢，我们学习什么呢？
So
学
to this
佛
class,
就
what are
是
we
第
learning?
一嘛。那
So
到底
do
意
we
义
need to
是
take
什么呢？
refuge if
有
we
什么样
learn
的意
Buddha
义
Dharma?
和方法
So what
呢？
is the
我们
significance
学
of
佛弟
refuge
子
and what is the
应该
method
如
of taking
何
refuge?
才能做好尊敬佛法僧三宝呢？
So, what can disciples do to respect Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha? Let's invite our lecturer for today, Master Lianyi. Let's put our hands together and welcome him. Before we start, let's pay homage to our root lineage guru, living Buddha Lian Shen, past lineage gurus of and the all Buddhas, Bodhisattva, Mahasabha, Dharma protectors of the shrine. The Honorable Chairman, Master Chen Zhu, Education Director, Master Lian Ha, and PR Director, Master Lian Xia, Master Lian Fei, Master Lian Chai, all masters in the reverence Dharma instructors, Dharma assistant, the compare, all fellow disciples, Amitabha. So recently, the TBS online universities have recently many Dharma propagators have actively participated in the course and cultivation practices launched by the TBS online university. I've heard that everyone has been very active in the activity, and I've heard students will spend up to 3 hours to do their homework. So I'm very touched by how diligent they have been. So Grandmasters has said that my grandmaster said that those who have to cultivate daily are my holy students. But again, because of this activity, the Dharma propagators have reduced their focus for the Dharma activities in their own cultivation venues. But I personally felt that the purpose of studying is to upgrade yourself, is to improve your quality and knowledge of Dharma propagators so that they are able to better promote Dharma activities in the future and help more people. So in 2023, Mr. Luo Zhenyi, in his New Year's speech, he said, friends of time. So Luo Zhenyi is a veteran in the media industry and founder of the Dedao app. It's a learning knowledge app. His sentence, he said, time, friends of time. What it meant is if you are, it's about doing something worthwhile and consistently and waiting for the rewards from the time spent. I can see that everyone is putting their heart and mind in doing the homework, and time will prove it's the best. To this, your rewards will be proven by time. So there's this story. Um, a painting. There's a painter who wants to paint a painting that everyone loves. So after painting, he took it to the market and put it at. He took it to the market and hung it up, and he wrote by the side, "Please put an X on the part where you are most dissatisfied with." And the next day, when the painter went back to pick up the painting, he found that the whole painting had a lots of X's. So he thought to himself, I'm a painter, so I don't think my level can be this terrible. And later on, he drew an identical painting. He hung it at the same place and wrote next to the painting, "Please circle the place where you think is the most satisfactory." And the next day, when the painter went to pick up the painting, he smiled. And those places where the X's were originally marked are now drawn in circles. So the painter realized a truth. So no matter how well he paints, there will be people who will like your painting and there will be someone who does not. So the same goes for being a person and doing things. As long as you think you're doing something wrong, as long as you think you're doing something right and can benefit oneself and others, you should persevere. So I think this story is very inspirational. So we will enter into the lesson proper today. So this is lesson 3, the significance and methods of taking refuge. But let's do a recap. So the first question, what is the lineage bloodline of true Buddha school? Can you all recall? So there are 5. So I give you a little bit of time to think about it. You can put your answer in the chat box. Oh, Lao Zhong has given a right answer, which is Shakyamuni Buddha, Amitabha Buddha, Maitreya Buddha, Bodhisattva, Pamasambhava, and Living Buddha Lianyi. So question 2, what is the origination of the TBS lineage? Oh, this is easier. Oh, so again, Lao Zhong has given the right answer. He's really fast. We have Varachana Buddha. So Buddha Lukana, Padma Living Buddha Lianyi. So Senior Reverend Lianyi has also gotten the right answer. So Shimizu, the Shimizu also has gotten the right answer. So the third question is, what are the 3 fundamental roots of a tantric practitioner? So this is really easy. So everyone please try. So what are the 3 fundamental roots of a tantric practitioner? So we did have a lot of responses. Very good. Which is the root guru, the root personal deity, and the root Dharma protector. So we are done with a recap. So what is a refuge? What is refuge? So when we talk about taking refuge, it symbolizes taking a certain direction, reliance, and trust. Taking refuge is a rite of passage that signifies entering the doors of Buddha's teaching and is equivalent to a registration ceremony. In terms of taking refuge, there is a difference between Sutrayana and Tantrayana traditions. But whoever who wants to learn the Dharma must take refuge, whether it's Sutrayana or Tantrayana. But in Sutrayana, we take refuge in the triple gem, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. In Tantrayana, because the root guru is the embodiment of the triple gems, so followers take refuge in a Vajracharya in addition to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Hence, this is known as the Fourfold Refuge. So many people feel that, why do I have to take refuge as long as I'm good and kind? So most people, most ordinary beings will have this thinking. So he never think about what is actually the real definition of a good person. His idea is, as long I didn't do anything bad, I didn't harm anyone, that I'm considered a good person. Yes, in a way, yes, but not really good. So everyone has got greed, anger, and ignorance. And when we take refuge to learn the Buddha Dharma, we hope to eliminate this 3 poison and convert it into something wholesome. So when we take refuge in the Buddha Dharma, it's a reliance, it's a dependence. So it has its significance. So a reliance on the Buddha, Bodhisattva to give you blessings. So there was a story. He wanted to take refuge in a master. Um, the teacher, the master just replied, you have to be a good person. So after a while, he came to see the teacher again, and the teacher gave him the same answer: be a good person and be kind-hearted. So upon hearing this, the following reply, just like I mentioned earlier, I did not do anything. I did not harm others. Am I not a good person? The teacher replied, if you did not do anything bad or harm others, this is the fundamental of being a person. So the so-called good and kind-hearted refers to they must have the right mindfulness for those who are learning the Buddha Dharma. So why are we learning the Dharma? Simply put, everyone hopes that we are able to be free from our worldly problems and from a supermundane perspective to be liberated from the cycle of samsara. So when we take refuge and started learning the Buddha Dharma, this is the real meaning. In addition, in Tantric, the root guru is the embodiment of the three jewels of Buddhism: the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Um, so basically, because uh, the root guru has gone through this, has achieved these attainments, and so he has many secret pit instructions to transmit. So in tantrayanas, with both outer and inner tantras, outer tantra practices will include like 4 preliminary practices and guru yoga. And for inner practices, we emphasize on the wind energies, the qi, the channels, and the bindus. So the gurus, they have gone through these, they have attainments, and we've within, and they have many pit instructions which are transmitted only by the root guru. So no one will know ever in your lifetime is this pit are not taught by the root guru. So that's the reason why we say that the root guru is the embodiment of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. It's just like if you're asking the Buddhas and Buddhas about the shrine, can you tell me the pit instructions? I don't think they will be able to tell you. So you have to go through your root guru to get this pit instruction. So we talk about, so what is the real treasure? Do you know? Do you all know? So I have read a story where the 27th patriarch Pratnatara, he was the teacher of Bodhidharma, the founder of Zen. Pratnatara traveled to southern India and encountered Bodhidharma, who was then the youngest prince of the king Xiangzhi. So at that time, King Xiangzhi offered Pratnatara a priceless pearl. So upon receiving the pearl, Pratnatara took the opportunity to test the wisdom and qualities of the three princes of King Xiangzhi. So he asked, is there any other treasure that can excel the quality of this bright and round pearl in my hand? So the first elder prince answered, the pearl which our father has offered you is the most noble treasure, and nothing else can match with it. However, the youngest prince said, among all treasures, Dharma is the most unparalleled treasure, and among all light, wisdom is the most incomparable light. And among all brightness, the realization of the mind is the true unparalleled brightness. So the treasure is the Dharma. So what is the wisdom light? So this is the light of the wisdom is very precious. So I remember during one of his teachings, Grandmaster has mentioned wisdom is the most precious when you're seeking the Buddha Dharma. So the light from your mind is the brightest of all and cannot be, is incomparable. So when we are learning the Buddha Dharma, is to let our mind have light, our heart have light. So when our heart is radiating light, the whole world will radiate along too. So all our um, delusions and all afflictions, your heart will be very dark. You're very unhappy. So when we cultivate the Buddha Dharma, is to allow a light to allow light to enter our heart, to allow our heart to have light. So what is the significance of the Fourfold Refuge? The reason for taking refuge in the Vajrayacharya is because he has witnessed all the Buddha has taught, and he no longer has doubts nor afflictions, and it's a living Buddha who has transcended samsara. So there will definitely be no mistake as one is guided by a Vajrayacharya. And the reason for taking refuge in Buddha, because he is an enlightened being that has attained supreme Buddhi, and Buddha's wisdom is penetrating inside. And if we learn from the Buddha, there will be no mistake. And to take refuge in the Dharma is the very truth that Buddha has realized. And through in-depth study of the Buddha's teaching and diligent cultivation of tantric practices, we can transcend from the state of an ordinary being to a saint. So just now we talk about taking refuge in the Vajrayacharya. So the Vajrayacharya has already attained, he has already witnessed all that the Buddha has thought is transcend life and death. So for grandmaster to have grandmaster lead us in a path, there'll be no mistake. So our grandmaster is a living Buddha, we all know. So we all know that a lot of Tibetan Rinpoches, they went to Seattle to take refuge in grandmaster to get empowerment from him. So in Tibet, all these Rinpoches, they're already very superior in their status. So why did so many Rinpoches came and seek refuge empowerment from Grandmaster? This proves that Grandmaster he is, has his evidence of being an accomplished practitioner. And we all know that the Buddha is an awakened being. So we must learn from the Buddha and to take refuge in the Dharma. We have to study in depth the Buddha's teaching and diligent cultivation. Through diligent cultivation can transcend from the state of ordinary being to a saint. And so apart from doing our homework and diligent practice, when the reason for cultivation is to remove all our propensities, all our habitual, bad habitual behavior, all our delusions, all our afflictions. We need to make changes to them. And GM has said, uh, true cultivation will lead to changes. So all the unwholesome things about us will become something better. So this how we can transcend from the state of an ordinary to a state, step by step, slowly towards the path of Buddhahood. And the reason for taking refuge in the Sangha, because they are keen to sages and they are propagators of the Dharma and our teachers. So we have to learn and seek advice from them. So there's a book called Living with the Himalayan Masters. Have you read this before? It, it records an incident of a Lama taking refuge, how he started from taking refuge from his root guru till the time he attained accomplishment. So at the beginning, this Lama, he and together with a group of friends who wanted to learn the Buddha Dharma went to seek refuge in this teacher because they feel that his teachings are very good. So they wanted to take refuge in this teacher, but the teacher did not accept them as disciples, but he continued to teach the Dharma until one day the teachers think that they're all very sincere, and he asked them, do you really want to take refuge? And everyone said yes. And the teacher said, okay, you guys come with me. Soon, so the teacher brought them to a big river. And he said, if you want to take refuge, jump into the river and swim across to the opposite bank. The river was flowing very rapidly and there were crocodiles. So they looked at one another and retreated. And in the end, only the Lama jumped down the river and swam across the opposite bank. So this honorable Lama, he listened to the teacher. And in Tantrayana, this is very important. What the teacher has spoken, what the root guru has said, you must listen and follow. So this is an important concept. So I think all of you have heard about one of our lineage master, Master Dargi, would often test his disciples. If he will ask his disciples questions like, how many types of refuge are there in Tantrayana? This is a very simple question. It's a no-brainer question. But if you answer there are 4 types of refuge, he will jokingly say, whoever speaks of the 4 refuge, do you know where's the door? Please get out on your own. In fact, in Tantrayana, it has only one refuge. What does it mean? It means wholeheartedly reliant and dependence, 100% faith, a complete dependence. This means one refuge. So in Tantrayana, so that's another story that I want to share with you. So the teacher was teaching, and when suddenly a mosquito flew by, So the teachers slapped the mosquito to death with both hands. And one of the disciples saw and thought, "Oh, my teacher have no compassion at all and killed the mosquito. Isn't he killing sentient beings? He's committing a transgression." And the other disciple thought, "How I wish I were the mosquito." He believed that his teacher has the ability to deliver and transcend him. So the thinkings by the two disciples are different. So when you think that your master has no compassion, you're seeing things from your perspective. Whereas the other disciple, he was thinking from the perspective of the mosquito. He has 100% faith in his root guru that he will transcend him if he dies. So the doubt, so so you cannot have any doubt, any thoughts of doubt. So in the 50th stanza to Guru devotion, there is some stanza we spoke about how a true Buddha disciple should treat their root guru. So it should be a complete reliance on your root guru. You will get complete blessing from him. So why do I require the root guru's empowerment to learn true Buddha Tantra? So taking refuge in Tantrayana requires empowerment. The true Buddha school is a branch of the Tantrayana tradition and its founder, living Buddha Lianyi, is the root guru of TBS. Hence, before one can learn and cultivate true Buddha Tantra, one must take refuge in living Buddha Lianyi and receive refuge empowerment from him. Only then this is considered a formal admission to TBS. So Sutrayana and Tantrayana is different in this sense. The Sutrayana has no special ritual. You just need to take refuge in the triple gems and then you have taken refuge. But in Tantrayana, and last time, and now it's different. And Jim has written an article talk about the difference between refuge, the difference in refuge from last time and now. So last time, if you want to take refuge, you have to find a accomplished teacher and you have to do an observation. The teacher observing the guru and the guru observing the teacher for 3 years before the refuge empowerment can take place. So Grandmaster is very compassionate. He said he wants anyone who has the affinity to learn the Buddha Dharma. He knows how extraordinary Tantrayana is. So he understands this. So if how many people will be able to learn Tantrayana if we are going to take so many years to learn the Dharma? So as long as there is affinity, one can take refuge. So Grandmaster is really very compassionate. So so taking refuge and receiving refuge empowerment is akin to students registering for admission in school. If you don't take refuge and receive empowerment, they are considered bystanders. Bystanders observing from the side. You're not former students. So strictly speaking, if you have not taken refuge, you can't recite mantra. But Grandmaster make an exception And if you recite the Padma Kumara mantra before you take refuge, can you recite this mantra? Yes, you can. So taking refuge, it represents a kind of faith towards the root guru and a faith towards yourself. So that's the reason behind reason behind taking refuge. So TBS cultivated venues welcome all who wish to observe and learn. However, for anyone who wishes to learn the Dharma and cultivate Tantric practices formally, they must take refuge and receive empowerment. Only then this is considered to have the requisite affinity. So what is the significance of refuge empowerment? So living Buddha Lianyi believes the true significance of seeking refuge and receiving empowerment are as follow. When you take refuge and receive empowerment, this is the beginning of your journey. This is the beginning of your journey to become a Buddha in waiting. So once you have taken refuge, you actually have a status. So which means you are Buddha in waiting or a Buddha in future. So every day when we cultivate diligently and change our bad habits, this is slowly transcending from the state of sentient being, ordinary being, sorry, to a saint. So taking refuge and receiving empowerment is the truth realized by practicing saint to be. So to be enlightened. So many of us would like to be enlightened soon enough. So I remember when Grandmaster was teaching the Platform Sutra, a lot of fellow disciples will be writing to Grandmaster. Um, they'll be writing to our Grandmaster to see if their phrase is if they will hit the bullseye. That means if that they enlightened. So usually Grandmaster is very compassionate and would say very close, work harder. So there is a fellow disciple who has really been trying for the longest time, and never once did he hit the bull's eyes. In the end, he had no choice but kneel down outside Grandmaster's office and beg Grandmaster to give him an enlightenment face. So Grandmaster give him some words? Yes, Grandmaster did. Grandmaster said, 无所得, nothing to gain. 无所得 as in the Heart Sutra, nothing to gain. And tell him to go back and ponder seriously on these three words. Let's say to you. So maybe everyone can think about this nothing to gain. And maybe you can ponder upon this as well. So taking refuge and receiving empowerment is to transcend from the state of an ordinary being to a state, to be liberated. So when we are learning the Buddha Dharma, liberation is very important. So, you can achieve liberation by being a master of your life and mastery of life and death. So I will share with you a very famous Zen koan where the fourth patriarch sitting help of the third patriarch. So the fourth partridge is Dao Xi. He was only 14 years old when he visited the third partridge, Sun Can. Sun Can. And during the first visit, the fourth partridge, Dao Xi, requested, "May you have the compassion to deliver the Dharma of liberation." So the third partridge, Sun Can, asked him, "Who tie you?" And he said, "No one." Since no one is tying up, then why are you asking for liberation? And upon hearing this, the fourth patriarch was enlightened. So I feel that he is a very accomplished cultivator. He has the wisdom. If you have the wisdom, it's very easy for you to understand and to gain enlightenment. Just so I feel that people, when we think about it, people often bind themselves unintentionally. But in fact, the mind is originally very free. And because of our own attachments and desire, there are many things we cannot let go. So the mind is tied up with these problems and hindrances. So learning the Dharma will allow you to let go of a lot of things. So Grandmaster already said you will not gain nothing in this world. So wearing Grandmaster was wearing a gem one time and his and was wearing gems. Um, and in his articles, he actually, these are my stones, normal stones. So he's transcend that. Every phenomena in the world is just temporary. So the reason why we um, take refuge in receiving empowerment is also to awaken, is for the awakening of oneself and others. And when you awaken yourself, you and attain enlightenment, you will be able to awaken others and help other sentient beings. So that's a famous quote by philosopher Tagore. Live yourself as a light because you don't know who will come out of the darkness through the help of your light. So you realize that this phrase is similar to why we take refuge and receive the empowerment is to benefit ourselves and benefit others. So we want to become the light. We want to become a light, to become the light of others as well, to help them walk out of darkness. So this is benefiting yourself and also others. So true significance of taking refuge and receiving empowerment is a sacred and revered ceremony. And one who takes refuge and receives empowerment is considered to have officially entered into the school of Buddhism and hence is a true Buddhist disciple. So Buddha, with great compassion and loving kindness, have bestowed Dharma and imprinted this infinity in the minds of those who have taken refuge empowerment. And having completed the rituals of refuge empowerment, they have formally entered the doors of Buddhism. They can progress from a beginner level to an achara, cultivating on their own till perfection to the stage of Buddhas in waiting. So I've stressed since the start of this class the importance of taking refuge. So when you take a refuge, you have imprints of Buddhism in your heart, and you are already a Buddha in waiting. But your so the initial aspiration, everyone has this at the very beginning when they take refuge. They will go to the cultivation venue to help, and at home they will practice daily. Grandmaster said you must practice daily, and that's really not bad. So most people are very hardworking when they first took refuge. They are so in the process of in a lifetime, we would have experienced many different things. So there will be some difficulties, some challenges along the way. So you may have initial aspiration, uh, but you need to maintain and persevere. You must have this long run mindset. So when you meet some challenges and difficulties in your lifetime, are you able to maintain your aspiration that you set at the beginning? That's very important. But if you persevere, then you may remain steadfast. So some people might lose faith very quickly because everyone's perspective towards learning Buddha Dharma are different, and some focus more on the exterior fact of learning Buddha Dharma. He's very diligent. He will do his homework. He will help at the cultivation venues. But in his heart, he has wants. And after a year, after what he has prayed for did not materialize, he was very disappointed. In fact, it's not that your wishes are not granted, it's just that the time is not ripe yet. And we must understand that we have karma, obscurations, which could be preventing wishes from being granted. So what we are doing, all cultivation, it's actually accumulation of merits. Just like I mentioned the last time about Master Lianyi, a story about Master Lianyi. Master Lianyi always told his disciples, there are two things a cultivator must always do: accumulate your merits and to purify your karma. These are two things. So these two things that we must remember when cultivating in this Saha world. If you're able to capture these two salient points, your merits will slowly accumulate. So don't worry about why. You should you should worry more about doing your homework and trying to help others. This is very important. So the blessing from living Buddha Lianshen's empowerment. So taking refuge in living Buddha Lianshen and receiving empowerment from him is equivalent to receiving the blessing powers of the three gates, which is the trinity of the body, mind, speech. This empowers believers with the Buddha's power. So the Buddha body that manifests after receiving blessings from living Buddha Lianshen empowerment, that is blessing the body. And in addition, living Buddha Lianshen has the accomplishment of cultivation. So disciples will take refuge and receive empowerment. receive the blessing of attaining Buddhahood. This is one of the three ways one can attain Buddhahood in Tibet, in True Buddha School. So the blessing power of these three gates is able to eliminate illness, so there are three main points in Tantric. First, you must have faith in your root guru. Two, you must have faith in the true Buddha Tantra. Third, you must have faith in yourself. So many people always feel that my karma is too heavy. Can I become a Buddha? So they have lots of questions. Don't ask, just have faith in the root guru and believe you are Buddha in waiting, just as long as you cultivate diligently. And one day you will attain you attain accomplishment. So Grandmaster has said that if you do it well now, you will see results later. Don't think too much, just do well what you need to do. So the blessing power of the three gates is also able to eliminate illness, afflictions, disasters, and offenses. In addition, the blessing power can increase your fortune, give you longevity, favorable affinities, more children, more harmony, as well as respect and love. So you know the blessing power for Grandmaster is really extraordinary. It's incredible. I've seen many cases. So recently I went to a hospital to visit a disciple recently taken refuge, and he has a heart problem. So he went to the hospital for an operation. So when I went to visit him, he told me, he said, Grandmaster is incredible. And why did he say that? He said the day before the heart surgery, he dreamed of Grandmaster there. And what did Grandmaster do? Grandmaster smiled at him, not once. So he came, he left and came back again, left and came back again. So Grandmaster smiled at him 4 times. And when he saw this in his dream, he knew that he's very confident that the operation would be successful. And sure enough, he was supposed to do 3 blood bypass. And he's only required to do one. He's only required to do 1 blood passage surgery. So now he's already been discharged. So some of them have just taken refuge. Grandmaster will always bless them to give them faith, to increase their faith towards the root guru. So I feel that this is a blessing power. So there are so the blessing powers of the 3 gates from Living Buddha Lianshen. So taking refuge and receiving empowerment from Living Buddha Lianshen is equivalent to receiving the blessing of his 3 gates. First is when Living Buddha Lianshen performs blessing through mudra, the body, eyes, arms, and legs of those who receive empowerment experience spiritual union with the karma mandala and become the body gate. So what is the karma mandala? It refers to the function of objects, including the conduct and action of all sentient beings. So when living with Lianyi performs blessing through mantras, and those who receive empowerment experience spiritual union with the Dharma mandala and become the speech gate of the Tathagatas. So what do you mean by a Dharma mandala? It refers to the names of everything, including all types of sound, language, character, and wordings, mantra, sutras, etc. So when living Buddha performs blessing through visualization, those who receive empowerment experience spiritual union with the Samaya Mandala and become the mind gate of the Tathagatas. So the Samaya Mandala refers to the external formation of everything, including the Dharma instruments, Dharma implements, the mudras, the outfit, the accessories of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So the cultivators who receive the blessings of the three gates are able to attain Buddhahood within this lifetime. So this is the blessing power of the three gates. Okay, now it's time for our Q&A segment. Over to you, D.A. Lian. Thank you, Master. So let me share my screen.
好，请大家看看您的这一个留言区，我已经分享了这个链接给大
Please
家。
refer to the chat box, and I've provided you the links for the different language channels.
那如果您没办法点击这个链接的
If you're
话，
not able to click on the
可以
link,
根据这个
please
图片
go directly
先进入 www.menti.com
www.menti.com
不同语言
and type
的一个
the
代号。
code for the
那
different
大
languages.
家大概1分钟时间
I'll
来
give you
加
a
入。
minute to work on this to join this game.
那再跟大家一起分享一下这个游戏的这个程序。那
Share
每
with
一题
everyone
呢，大家都会有
how we're going to
30
play
秒
this
来
game,
回答问
how we're
题，
going to play
包
this
括
game.
上师
So you have 30
提
seconds
这个
to
问题给大
answer
家。 所
your
以大家
question.
加入了过后呢，可以在这一个手机或者是您的电脑选
You
择
can,
选择有 A、B 或者是
so
C。
there are three choices, either A, B, or C.
我讲答案了。我还没有讲那个何为皈依观顶的意义。
So question one, what is the significance of taking refuge empowerment? Answer A, the start of a successful life. B, the start of becoming a Buddha. C, the start of accomplishing a career. So what is the significance of taking refuge empowerment? A, the start of a successful life. B, the start of becoming a Buddha. Or C, the start of accomplishing a career. What's your answer?
"好，请大家选择
Time's up.
答案。
Let's look at the result. The answer is B.
B 啊，成佛的开始。哇，大家全中了。好，
好，我们进入下一题。
So the next question.
看看下，
So let's look at our results. Mr. Winner.
好，上次可以念的。
请选出莲生活佛正确的3密加持力。A
So please choose the correct three gates, blessing powers, three blessing gates of living Buddha Lianshan. A is outer gate, inner gate, or void gate. B, simple gate, moderate gate, profound gate. C, the speech gate, the body gate, and the mind gate. So please choose the blessing powers, please choose the blessing gates
答案
of
是什么呢？
blessing gates of living Buddha Lianshen, the 3 blessing gates of living Buddha Lianshen.
有会跟。
好，我们这一个环节，第一个环节的游
And we
戏
are done with first Q&A. So from our Chinese channel, Johnny is the winner.
好，我们继续了。
So let's continue.
皈依的益处。
What is benefits of taking refuge?
皈依的益处有三神守护。
So disciples who take refuge and receive empowerment, they receive immediately the protection of 16 virtuous deities.
这16位三
And the 16 virtuous deity will include the 4 heavenly kings,
吹拂
the heavenly king of the east, heavenly king of the south, heavenly king of the north, and heavenly king of the west.
勇猛心地三神，摄伏诸魔三神，能救诸有三神，离一切不畏三神，救护一切三神，毗上
So
天皇，广目天皇，拔除罪苦三神，能忍三神，欢喜三神，除一切障难三神。你看，每一尊山神都有他的功德力，所以
So every various deity will have their own merits.
这16位山神，甚至以36位。
So in addition, there are 36 or more virtuous deities coming forward to give protection to TBS disciples. And the benefits are simply incredible.
还有呢，就是金刚神守护。
So there's also the benefit of taking refuge, the protection by the Vajra gods. So those who receive refuge empowerment and became a holder of the Vajra Samadhi Dharani will immediately sense the presence of Vajra warrior and from the void, Vajra god, which may be a Vajradhara, a Vajrayaksa, or Guya Samaja will descend. And these Vajra protectors will always accompany and guide the true Buddha cultivation. So we have so much benefit, so many protection after taking refuge. So how do you take refuge in living Buddha Lianshen? So there are several ways to do so and receive the true Buddha school lineage transmission. One, you can take a refuge in person, attend group cultivation sessions or Dharma ceremonies presided by living Buddha Lianshen. After each cultivation session or Dharma ceremony, there will be a ritual arranged for people who wish to take refuge or an appointment to meet living Buddha Lianshen. And once the refuge empowerment has been given, living Buddha Lianshen will issue the refuge certificate, a Dharma picture, root guru, and a Dharma cultivation handbook. This would be receiving the lineage transmission. So you can also do a remote empowerment, and if you do so, you need to recite the Fourfold Refuge mantra 3 times. Namo Gurupe, Namo Buddhaye, Namo Dhammaye, Namo Sanghaye. Seeking living Buddha's Lianshen guidance, I take refuge in the true Buddha. And this can be done under the 1st or 15th of any lunar month at 7 a.m. facing the east direction of the rising sun. You recite and prostrate 3 times, and thereafter you completing the ritual at your home. Just need to write a letter including your actual name, address, age, and a voluntary offering, and indicate this in the letter you intend to seek refuge empowerment. So you can, after mail the letter to the True Buddha Foundation in the United States, and upon receiving the letter, Living Buddha Lianshen will mail over the refuge certificate and a Dharma picture of root guru and indicate which Dharma cultivation to begin with. This is receiving the lineage transmission from living Buddha Lianshen. So you will see from the PowerPoint the address of the True Buddha Foundation. So we start with the 4 preliminaries for those who have just taken refuge. So this address, it should be addressed to the True Buddha Foundation. They've missed that out in the PowerPoint, followed by Shen Yan Lu, 1710, and E for VCT, Redmond WA 9805 USA.
也是North East 40街CT Redmond 也是华盛顿州98052 USA。好了，遥观与清观。
What's the difference between remote empowerment, direct empowerment? So it's actually the same merit to receive the empowerment directly in person or remotely by living Buddha Lianshen. So receiving empowerment in person is in line with the etiquette. Receiving empowerment remotely is also in line with etiquette. So why is receiving empowerment remotely in line with etiquette? That is because living Buddha Lianshen has the Dharma power of summoning. And this power of summoning and dispatching is extremely secret. The Dharmakaya of enlightened Vajracharya is omnipresent and radiates light that encompasses the whole universe. Not only can he summon a practitioner to receive empowerment, but can also dispatch a dakini to where the practitioner is residing to give the empowerment. So this is the power of summoning and dispatching.
而且它本身呢，光离六合嘛，什么是六合？就是4个方向上下，就是充满整个虚空的意思了。
So Grandmaster is being an accomplished cultivator. His omnipresence. So some people who receive the empowerment will receive the empowerment remotely. They felt very cool water from the sky, and somewhere received empowerment remotely. They could felt Grandmaster supporting his body, and while others saw Grandmaster appearing within the big sun. And some also heard Grandmaster's Dharma words. And some with severe illness regressing to minor illness, and minor illness fully cured. And people who suffered, and ladies who suffered infertility became pregnant immediately and gave birth to a boy. So while others felt refreshed and wonderful after hearing the sound of the bull. So even though all of this are via receive the empowerment remotely, they have experienced many wonderful experiences. So there's no difference. So these are countless. There are countless sensations, and remote empowerment is not a false acquisition. So there is no difference between receiving empowerment person and remotely. And a Acharya who is able to perform remote empowerment must have visual account. Okay. So we will proceed into part 2 of the Q&A.
问题3呢，我讲哈，问题3，请选出皈依的益处。What
is the benefit of taking refuge? Protection from 16. A. Protection from 16 Sudana Kumara. 善财童子. B. Protection from 60 well deities. And protection C. Protection from 16 virtuous deity. So what's the answer? The answer is C.
我先讲问题4啊，请选出皈依莲生活佛的正确方式。A. 打电话至中委会。
So what's the correct way of getting refuge? To make a call to True Buddha TBF. The last question we have is, what is the benefit of taking refuge? I'm sorry. How do you take refuge in living Buddha Lianshan? Make a call to TBF. A. B. Participate in Dharma ceremonies and group cultivations presided by living Buddha Lianshan. Or C. Participate in Dharma ceremonies of other Tantric school.
他有时间。全对啊。对了，是 B 啊，答案是 B。
好，这个我们的今天的中文版的冠军是莲花冠廷。我们来看看一下，对，
恭喜你啊！
那我们的
冠廷 is our winner for today in the Chinese channel, and for the Indonesian channel, who's the winner? So we have Chandra Arifin as the winner in the Indonesian channel. And in our English channel, we have Lotus Angel. She was the winner for lesson 2 as well. Congratulations, everyone. Let's continue. So, Grandmaster possessed 3 big accomplishments. So, the master was able to perform remote empowerment. Must have 3 types of accomplishment. First, the ability to transcend the skies. This accomplishment can dispatch the kini to hold the Dharani water of empowerment, fly thousands of miles, and bestow the actual empowerment realm to all disciples taking refuge around the world. The second type of accomplishment will be possess the accomplishment to summon and be visible. And with this, one can summon disciples' spirit to the stream and bestow empowerment with Dharani water. So this is the secret accomplishment of being able to summon and be hidden. And the third type of accomplishment achieve the great radiant accomplishment of personal deity. Vajracharya has become her personal deity and allow him herself to become the samadhi of the personal deity. In samadhi, light will radiate the world, which is used to bestow empowerment to all disciples taking refuge. This is the great radiant accomplishment of the personal deity. So that's 3 major accomplishments. The transformation of the secret of all secrets. It should be known that all phenomena come from the mind and are a manifestation of a mind. The truth of transformation is a profound power. Only a real Vajracharya can clearly understand, and those who are not enlightened cannot comprehend. So we must have faith in our Grandmaster because he's an accomplished cultivator. So in conclusion, to learn Buddhism, one must take refuge. Just like how one would register for school admission and require the school's approval before attending classes. In particular, one would be required to take refuge in a well-accomplished child in order to learn the Tantric Dharma and attain spiritual accomplishment. I ever mentioned that there are the true master must have lineage transmission. You must have writing, some of compassion. So is it time for fellow disciples to share the experience? So this is my sharing for today. Thank you very much, Amitabha. Let's put our hands together and thank Master Lianyi for his teachings. We have, it has been 3 years since we started TBS Online University, and he mentioned that we are the fence of time. So what we are doing are things of value, they are worthwhile. So to prove that taking classes are a correct path. So we also shared about the correct concept of refuge. Why must we take refuge in a Vajra Achara? Why must we have pure faith and have total reliance on our root guru? And so that will become a light to ourselves and also to others. So this is our sharing session. Is anyone who would like to start sharing? Is everyone is still preparing? I would like to share my own personal experience for the advancement home. And I saw in Master Lian article that this is a marathon, this advancement homework. I find that it's very interesting personally. This is what I think. So it's like rowing against the waves. Even though I may be improving also only just a bit, it's fine because of time constraint. Australia is really quite late. I'm sure it's very late for the Australians. So Dharma brother Jianqing from Australia, he would like to share, but he said Amitabha, he has he has taken refuge for 20 years and he cultivates daily. But now he has participated in advancement activity. And he spent time doing cultivation, doing meditation. He feel that his time, and he would do meditation during his free time and find it so fulfilling. And Master and Senior Reverend Lianyi has put up his hand. He's going to share. Let's pay homage to Living Buddha, Root Guru Living Buddha. So dear Wei Xian is also one of our counselors. I would like to support him, so I will share my experience on the advancement homework. In our homework, it's cultivation, recitation of sutras and mantras. I just want to share 2 points. Exercise. I would, in terms of exercise, I would choose, most of us would choose the full prostration. For me, I've regular exercise the Tai Chi and Tai Chi sword. Because of this advancement homework, it has sort of motivated me to work harder. So Grandmaster has thought you can exercise using the Vajra fees to do in the practice. Apart from this, so here also apart from so something was a little bit different from others personally. My personal deity is Trinity Buddha Mother. So I would like to perform something good daily. So if I'm not able to perform that good act today, I will record it down so that I can repent. So I have been saying that Taiwan Lianyi for a while. For some of them who have not been able to attend these classes, I've encouraged them to participate in the advancement homework to remind ourselves that what is inadequate or what is missing, we can do them. Thank you, Amitabha. Thank you, Senior Reverends, for your sharing. Thank you, Senior Reverend Lianyi, for your continuous diligence and to encourage all Dharma brothers and other Dharma brothers and sisters to join the advancement activity. Is there any other people who would like to do a sharing? Please turn on your mic. Because we have pretty limited time. Can we have one more sharing, please, before we end the class tonight? We hope that everyone will share, to tell everyone, and to encourage more fellow disciples to participate in the advancement homework. And if you also have any questions regarding the past few lessons, do submit your question in the chat.
我记得就是在这个打卡的过程当中呢，我们
in the process of the advancement homework, we have to recite a sutra mantra and also read an article per day. Read an article of James per day.
诵经或者是持咒的，就是活动里面，就是我打卡的，就是功课里面，我觉得非常的棒。
I feel that this is really great. Say, for example, I'm reading Grandmaster's latest book, which talk about the Hiking Sutra. And after reading the article, and what we learned from the article and how Vimalakirti has explained in this article. So when I recite the Hiking Sutra, I was able to apply the teachings from the article. So this is really great. So today we've talked about nothing to gain. So in the latest book, it is also talk about this. So I've applied this in my mantra recitation. So Grandmaster say your
反正我觉得这样的持咒的方式呢，就会让自己更加的沉浸在里面，而不会，然后发现有一个问题就是我不喜欢散念。
Sorry, I didn't quite catch what he was trying to say. So my preferred way of reciting mantra is to sit down and just focus on reciting a mantra. I don't like to do it by bits and pieces.
或许对每个人都有不同嘛，84000法门，总有一个法门呢会适合你。
So there are 84,000 kinds of Dharma teachings, and I'm sure you'll find one that will suit you. So because of time constraint,
大家都还没有提起一个镜哈来分享，那没关系。
we don't have any sharing in the chat box, but it's okay. You can keep the sharing for next week's class. I have seen messages in the chat box, And there's a Dharma sister who said we set a common target and work together and put this into action together. As long as we persevere, even though making one small step, we will see results at the end of the day. So it's time up. We'd like to invite Master Lianyi to say goodbye to all students. Thank you. Thank you, Master Chen Chu, Master Lien Ha, and Master Lien Cha, Master Lien Fei, Master Lien Zai, and all masters, all senior reverends, reverends Dharma, instructors, Dharma assistant, and all fellow disciples, and our master of ceremony, Amitabha. See you next week. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you to our lecturer. Thank you, Master Lien Ha. I saw Master Lien Ha online. Our fellow disciples, our counselors. Take care, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good night.
再见
Remember
咯
to do your advancement homework. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
再见
Goodbye. See you next week.
谢谢联谊上师的授课，很精彩啊！
好棒！
谢谢联合上师。
It's a fantastic class.
拜拜，大家加油！
Bye, everyone.
拜拜。
Bon courage, everyone. See you next week, same time.